Hey everyone, Casey here, coming at you with the ultimate strategy guide for Command & Conquer 3 Kanes Wrath. So we're going to be covering a lot of stuff in this video, so I'm just going to dive right into it. First on the list is scouting. Scouting is hugely important in Kanes Wrath, and actually in every RTS game. Scouting early on enables you to know what your opponent's going to do, when he's going to do it, and this gives you the power to counter this effectively. So I'm going to talk a bit, that's basically why you scout. I'm going to talk a bit about how do you scout. Well, in Kanes Wrath, they've made it easy for you. Build a quick base defense, sell it off, and there you go. You've got a rifleman squad, a militant squad, or a buzzer squad. Easy, easy, easy. But we're not going to stop there. Building a barracks early on is very helpful. You want to get at least 2 scouting units out. If you're GDI, rifleman squads, if you're Nod, militant squads, and Skrin, of course, the buzzers. Skrin, I think, have a little bit of an advantage when it comes to scouting, just because their buzzers are very fast. But yeah, so what you want to do is build a barracks early on, get out a couple of rifleman squads, and march them towards the enemy base. But if you're playing on a map such as like Tournament Dust Bowl or Tournament Tower, one of those maps, you'll notice there's a lot of garrisonable structures. So why not just garrison your scouting units in those structures? You got a radius around the building where you can see, and your units have got more defense points. So this is quite helpful. So with GDI, if you're scouting, a good idea is to send your militant squads into the base and dig in for a foxhole. This will really piss off your opponent, and they'll keep them there for a bit longer. Keep something else on your opponent's mind. And yeah, that's basically scouting for you. So, number 2, map awareness. Map awareness is also hugely important. You have to know the map you're playing on. So if you're new and you've decided to go and play online, I'd play a couple of skirmishes before, and just get used to the map and know what you're going to do. Have sort of a set game plan in your mind, so when you're going to expand and when you're going to start teching, or if you're going to tech at all. You got to know all this stuff before you dive in straight into a game. Also, map awareness is important because if your opponent's like played on this map a million times, he's going to be much faster than you. He's going to know exactly what he's going to do, when he's going to do it, and he's going to be faster than you. Therefore, he's going to have more money than you. Therefore, more units, and therefore he will crush you. Knowing where to expand. They've also made this quite easy in Kanes Wrath. You always start with a near Tiberium field to you. A great way to expand is by using surveyors. This allows you to set up an outpost near where you want to expand and build a little base. But personally, I don't like to waste money on surveyors. I think it's stupid, or explorers. Don't bother wasting your early credits, rather move your MCV. That's what it's there for. It can be packed up and moved. So a good thing to do when you want to expand is try and get 2 refineries and 4 harvesters at your main Tiberium field, and when you've done that, as soon as you've done that, the minute you have done that, you want to pack up your MCV and move it to the closest Tiberium field on the map to you. And then you start building forward from there, and that then becomes your primary base. Don't wait any longer than this, because you really don't want to fall behind in resources. Anyway, this brings me to another point, which is economy. Economy is very essential. You must have a good economy in order to win a match. I mean, the whole point is building units and crushing your opponent, and you can't do that with no money. So, like I said before, what you want to do is get 4 harvesters, 2 refineries at your main Tiberium field, and once you've done that, you can expand. But don't stop there, don't just expand once. I mean, the game, you never know how long the game will last, but there are other points in which you can expand. Expanding is great. You have to expand in order to build up a decent economy, and if you're planning to tech especially, you're going to need a lot of money. Map control is another point, and you can gain this by expanding. If you control, think about it, if you control more than half of the map, you have a huge advantage over your opponent. You can see more than he can, your chances are you're gathering more money than he is, and even if he takes out one of your expansions, I mean, by the time he's doing that, you've got, say, 2 other bases in which you can build units from. So yes, map control. Always try and establish map control. If you see your opponent making a move towards one of your Tiberium fields, you need to stop him right away. And this is actually another point here, harassment. Harassment, I can't tell you how many matches I've won by just doing some simple harassment. Harassment is harassing your opponent's economy, taking out a few of his harvesters early on, and just hampering him like that, really. And it's very simple to do. If you're Scrin, simple things. Build disintegrator squads. 4 disintegrator squads. Send it to your opponent, take out a harvester. There you go. You've just harassed him, you've pissed him off, and it works. But of course, this crosses with scouting. If you scout your opponent, you see he's got hectic base defenses, and he's a bit of a noob, and he's defending his base a lot early on. Don't bother harassing him, because he's kind of harassed himself in a way, because building a lot of base defenses early on just chews up your credits, and it's the equivalent of, you know, losing a couple of harvesters early on, which is the same as harassing. So you want to keep harassing your opponent. You don't want to just go in with a couple of missile squads, take out a harvester, get out of there and start teching. If you go in and you take out a harvester early on with missile squads, get back to your base, build an airfield, get about 3 orcas, 2 orcas is fine even, take out another harvester, and keep doing it, keep doing it, until eventually he probably will leave, or he'll build base defenses, and there you go, he's just wasted more credits. And then what you can start doing is, while you've been harassing him, you can build up an army in your base and send it out as soon as he's lost those harvesters, because you'll know that he's going to need some time to rebuild his economy, and you don't want to give him that time. You want to just be in his face constantly be in his face. Don't let him rest. Teching, okay? I'm going to go into teching. Teching, why do you tech and when do you tech? Well, basically if harassment is not working, or if you've both harassed each other and you're at a bit of a standstill, you've both got a lot of units and you don't want to send them in, and you need something just to break that barrier and to get through to your opponent, teching's great. But only do it if you have enough money, because it is quite expensive. For GDI, you can tech up to mammoth tanks, railgun upgrades, Scrin, you got tripods and not disintegrators, devastator warships, all sorts of things, Nod, avatars of course, and lots more. But for me personally, I like to try and keep it in the early game because I'm more of a rusher, and I'm going to talk a bit more about this in the next part, so I'll see you guys then. See ya.